can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, hey, praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, hey, praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise ya. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed and with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never, no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See, this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. It's a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. It's a spiritual ride. Just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, hey, praise ya.
Mercy on you, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God of Israel. Cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we back by the Most High, so who shall you feel? You gotta be.
When I think of your mercy, when I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, hey, praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, hey, praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise ya. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed and with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. It's a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride. Just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. Praise ya. Praise ya.
Mercy, mercy on you, mercy, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God of Yisrael. Cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we backed by the Most High, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is seething wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just receive the listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see, blessings come from above. None of us deserve it. None of us is worthy. But we praise y'all for his mercy.
When I think of your mercy.
Shalom Facebook, Shalom YouTube, welcome to our prophecy class. Today we are in the book of Revelation, chapter 9, but before we get started, does anyone have any questions? Yes.
I have a question, Elder. Yesterday, in Sabbath class, when we were in, I think that's Exodus 19,
Mm-hmm.
Verses 3 to 25, and then we were talking about the door of no return.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the door of no return.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we had to go back, or we had to go around the door of no return, not go that same way we came, because our descendants came.
We'll be, Yahweh willing, we'll be disembarking on the west coast of Africa, same place we left on. So we're looking at the areas of Ghana and those surrounding areas, whether it be Gold Coast and those places where they sold the slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll be going back through those places past till we get to the wilderness. So the door of no return, it wasn't just one door. There's three of them, right? Is that about 3 doors of no return? Zach? We have about 3 doors of no return, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
All right.
I got a question. Yesterday when you were starting off, you was talking about how with the scripture, well, not the scripture, but the verse where Satan is transformed himself to an angel of light, and you was talking about Islam, you know, and then Muhammad spoke to Gabriel. But when Muhammad was in that cave, he had seen an angel of light. They probably lied and said he was Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think with Satan transformed himself into an angel of light, because I've always thought about this over years, that angel of light that Muhammad seen in that cave was Satan?
Let me ask you now, where it just said in the Quran that it was a light?
He said in the cave he seen an angel of light.
Angel of light, that's what it says?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think they're talking about the same thing.
No.
First of all, when they talk about Muhammad and his experience with the angel of light, it's all fabricated, just to match up with what we talk about in our book. So if he called it an angel of light, he's talking about a positive thing. Here, and Paul is talking about something negative.
Okay.
Okay. else have any questions?
I got one more
Okay.
question. It's kind of silly, but somebody was asking me, 'cause I was talking about the wilderness, and they was like, "Is the angels gonna go to sleep out there in the wilderness?" I told them angels don't need to sleep, but just wanna get your opinion so I can let them know. 'Cause I think they got sometimes ulterior motives in their mind when about being out there and still doing what they want to do a little bit. That's what I think personally. When they ask me the
Now that you
question,
say that.
you know what I mean? You know, but the evidence angels gonna go to sleep out there, so
Well, you're gonna be out there 3.5 years, man.
right,
Imagine every now and then you want to change up.
right.
So, it will no doubt be like it was when our fathers were out there in the wilderness. They impregnated their wives and they had children also while they were out there. So I imagine it'll be the same way this time. It'll be a little bit different though because we're not used to being outside a building. So that's gonna take a little getting used to. But as far as personal relationships, as soon as they get comfortable with what their surroundings, I believe it'll pick back up. But we're talking about married people now. We're talking about fornication. So
Right,
with fornication and all other manner of sexual gratification, they're gonna have to answer to the judgment. They're probably purged out. Yeah. Because you don't hear about any fornication in our fathers when they came out of Egypt. Most of them were married. So it wasn't an issue. Even though we have a law concerning virgins and marriage, we didn't hear that it was an issue with our fathers when they came out of Egypt. Yeah. You don't really hear about any crime among our fathers while they stayed out there 40 years. You hear about no crime. Just rebelliousness against Moshe and Yahweh and Moshe. So that's about the worst thing you can say about that. Okay. But this time, all we have was the story of what Yahweh did to the Egyptians, right? And so our fathers were right there on the scene, so they saw these things themselves, and they recorded it. But with this generation of the children of Israel, they have not seen those things that our fathers saw. So they would not be fearful of Yahweh. I imagine over time, when the 3.5 years are just about up, people come to their senses that they're dealing with something that no one told them about before. But then again, you'll be out there, and you can let them know what's going on.
Right.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Now, Elder, yesterday when we was reading when they was crossing the Red Sea and the angels made their move to the back, one of them causing darkness and one of them causing light. That was like back to back, right? You know, like let's say if me and you was in a situation where we had to protect and defend one another. We won't stand out like this right here, you know, like this. You know, we gotta watch each other's back. So is that what they were doing?
With the pillar of fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, the pillar of fire was made just for the night travel.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about when they were at the sea crossing.
Oh, at the sea?
When the angels made their move. And
well, this is the first mention of pillar of fire, pillar of cloud, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, so this is a new player in the game. So we see what their job was to again hide them from Pharaoh and these Egyptians that was chasing them. Right, so you're looking at also it took all night for the Red Sea to part.
Yes.
So that would necessitate that light being in front of them. Okay, I get that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then. Let's go ahead and get started again. We are in the book of Revelation, which is the last book of the Bible. And it's a culmination of all the things that began in the first part of the Bible. So what we have here, at the end of the book of Revelation, the very last chapter, we were left with the notion that there really is no death for life. Life is continuous. So even though you may end in one place and another end in someplace else, you're still alive. So that is the remarkable thing about life, is that it never ceases. It continues on. Not necessarily in the form that it began with, but life continues, life continues, it never stops. Okay. All right, then, let's go ahead and get started. Again, we are in the book of Revelation, chapter 11.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of Elohim, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months.
Again, we've got a 3.5 years timeline. So not only we're going to have the trumps of destruction and vials of wrath poured out in 3.5 years, now we have the scenario of where all these things are taking place, with Jerusalem being the center of all the turmoil that the earth is going to go through. Again, these are the things that Yahweh is reigning upon the one world order, seed of the beast, and this is part of what's going on. So a lot be going on in 3.5 years. But go ahead, Brother Stan.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth.
Again, 3.5 years.
Verse 4. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the earth.
You understand what this represents, right? You know?
Yes.
What about your Cal?
Not really.
Okay, let's look at that, because we've had different opinions as who these 2 witnesses are.
That's what happened. Yeah, that's what.
Angels.
Hmm?
Angels.
Angels.
We're going to see. So we've had people thinking that it was Moshe and Elijah,
Yeah.
Enoch and Elijah, right? Because they never died, right? Well, let's see again. Here, in verse 3 and 4, it says, And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the earth. Now let's go to Zechariah and see who these 2 witnesses are. Brother Stephen, pick this up in Zechariah chapter 4. We're going to see, remember how they were described? They had 2 olive trees and a candlestick. So we're going to see what Zechariah says about the same thing. Go ahead, Brother Stephen. We're going to identify who these witnesses are. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Start at 1.
Let's start at 1.
Zechariah chapter 4, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the angel that talked with me came again and waked me as a man that is wakened out of his sleep, and said unto me, What seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps which are upon the top thereof, and 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof. So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, What are these, my Adonai? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Adonai.
Skip over to verse 11.
Then answered I and said unto him, What are these 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick, and upon the left side thereof? And I answered again and said unto him, what be these 2 olive branches which through the golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? And he answered me and said, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my master. Then said he, these are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Adonai of the whole earth.
So that we really using it verbatim. You describe who these 2 witnesses are. These are angelic beings, they're angels. If you're standing before the throne of the Most High, then you're an angel. So those what we just read in Revelation are angels. This describes who they are. Said that are nearly the same wording. Okay.
Okay, well, so what's gonna cause them, they're not gonna feel that beating and degradation they're gonna feel? They're gonna suffer?
Well, these 2 witnesses?
Yes. And these same 2 witnesses gonna be,
We're going to see what they're going to be doing.
okay,
So they got a job to do.
right.
So let's see what they're going to be doing. Again, let's go to Revelation chapter 11 again.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 5.
Start at 3 again.
Okay. Revelation chapter 11, verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth.
Mm-hmm.
These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the earth.
Mm-hmm. Again, they're angels if they do that. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed.
Mm-hmm.
These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will.
Now, when you continue to read about all the trumpets of destruction, the vials of wrath being poured out, then you see that when the trumpet blows, calamity comes, but not as much as the coming calamity. So, like for instance, when the first trumpet blows, 1/3 of the earth water gonna turn to blood. Then when the first vial is poured out, then all the water of the earth gonna be poured, turn into blood. Yeah.
This the verse right here that when I did believe that it was Moses and Elijah, because they doing the same thing that Moses and Elijah did. So it just made it make sense, you know what I mean? Elijah made it stop raining for 3.5 years, and Moses turned water into blood and all the plagues he put on Egypt. So it just made sense that it was Moses and Elijah because of what the same thing they doing right here in this verse, you know what I mean? What I did till I came here, you taught me better, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Well, again, I've heard that,
Right.
and but we had an excellent teacher who showed us that was what this really means. So now I'm just passing that on to you. Because not everybody can hear what I'm teaching, so they'll go on thinking that's Moshe and Elijah until they always turn into something better. But until then, not knowing exactly what that meant, it makes more sense when you go back to Zechariah now.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them.
Remember the beast of the bottomless pit, we picked that up in chapter 9 when that star fell from heaven and the keys in the bottomless pit was given to him. So here this leader of the bottomless, this angel of the bottomless pit, they're coming up and they said that they killed these 2 men. How can you kill an angel? They're spirits. But it would seem like they died because of what they did to them, right? Because they're looking at these 2 men. These men, they're blaming these men for the problems that the earth is having with those vials of wrath, trumpets of destruction, vials of wrath. They point at them 2 men. They're the reason that's happening. So they thought by killing them, all that stuff would stop. Right? So the beast of the bottomless pit rose up and killed these 2 witnesses. All right, go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Adonai was crucified.
So what was he crucified in Jerusalem, right? Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
They must have hated these men because normally, according to Hebrew culture, they buried the bodies right away that very same day in most cases. So they left them bodies out there 3.5 days. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Elohim entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
It almost resembles a resurrection, doesn't it? Because, but then, how can these be resurrected before the Mashiach shows back up? Because when he shows back up, the dead in Christ shall rise up and meet him in the air, right? But these are two witnesses of Yahweh, Elohim. And so they just, what happened was these men's bodies seemed dead, but the spirit of life was given to them. Now you look at, for instance, when the first man was created, Adam, for the dust of the ground, and Yahweh breathed in him the breath of life, and he became a living soul. So he was inanimate, just a body there with no breath in it. So I'm looking at it the same way. So the spirit of life came upon them, man. So when you look at the word spirit also means breath, also means wind, and some other mental things about a person. Talk about the spirit that's within them. So this particular spirit here, the spirit of life, is the same spirit that came, the same breath that gave life to Adam. So the spirit of life came upon these two witnesses, and they heard the voice, they come up hither. But again, when the Mashiach returns, they're not going to be going to heaven. They're going to rise up and meet him in the air, right? And then they come back down to the earth. But these two are going straight up to heaven. That's where they come from, right? And so that put fear in these people that saw them come back to life, because they rejoiced. They were having a party. They were giving gifts, because these two witnesses tormented those people, the wicked of the earth. Now keep in mind now, those people that take that name, number, and mark, they'll be the ones that'll become that'll be considered wicked. Their life is already determined when they took that name, number, and mark. Go ahead, Brother Stanton.
Yeah, I know, Elder, you made a good point about verse 10, those gifts. And you said, was this Christmas, right? Now, let me ask you something. After 3 days and a half, it couldn't have been a natural being, because they would have started smelling, right?
Right.
So-
Rigor mortis would have still
Yeah.
set in before 24 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, these, they didn't bury them, but there was no corruption, there was no decay.
They should have thought something about that, shouldn't
Yeah, well, they're having too much fun.
Right.
So they finally got these rascals.
Can you tell which one of the beasts it is that came out of the pit to kill them?
Well, the same beast we read about in Revelation 9, the first mention of that beast.
Okay.
This is here. It says in verse 7 that when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. So are we talking about the beast, or are we talking about he that rode upon the beast? So this beast can take on a different form than what we consider as a singular person. It could be a group of people, an army. coming out of that bottomless pit. But the people when we read about it, first of all, in chapter 9 of Revelation, that was the angel of the bottomless pit that came up with that beast of the bottomless pit. So now you see the beast alone. So we got to look at the connection. There must be a group of people to come in and do what they did here, not necessarily the one that rode that beast. But go ahead, Brother Stephanie.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Elohim of heaven. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
So the clock is still ticking. That's still within that 3.5 years timeline. At that time, Yahweh will be in the wilderness. But apparently there are going to be some of us in the city itself. That's going to cause when it says in verse 13, in the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. So there had to be some of us up in there. Because Esau will never say something like this. I'll never do anything like this, yes.
What? Okay, we in the wilderness, and then you got the other 9 tribes scattered. What are they doing in Jerusalem at this time? I mean, what are people? I don't know if it's gonna be the house of Yehuda or the 9 tribes, but what are they doing in Jerusalem at this time?
Well, they're doing that now. Yeah, and they're now.
Right.
So, yeah, Yaakov used to tell them, don't go up in there now. It's not the right time. But when you read, for instance, in Matthew 24, when the beast, the desolation of abomination of desolation, we see that Mashiach warns people when these things come to pass that he that is in Judea flee to the mountains, and he that's in the city don't come back in. So we got apparently going to be some of our people that are there, that's still there, and they're going to suffer during the 3.5 years of great tribulation. So we seeing Jerusalem being destroyed, part of the city being destroyed. So they're going to be there. Also, you got to look at, is he all right?
That's them 2 women.
Huh?
That's them 2 women.
No, I was looking at Elder.
Yeah, elder coming up here.
She's got the umbrella over him because it's raining outside.
It's raining?
Yes, right.
So, okay, I can't see it from here.
Right. Let's slow down a little bit. It's raining good.
It's supposed to stop at like 1.
All right.
Yeah, so Otis gonna make it today.
No, I guess so. Well, I forgot, she went out there. I think she looked like she was getting out the car.
He's risen.
But again, we have apparently some of our people that are already in the city, like they're already in the land now. So, like I said, Elder told them not to go there. You look what's going on now. The Hamas is shooting rockets all over Jerusalem, especially shooting in Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Brother Daniel.
It was
Daniel in Tel Aviv.
it was a young, well, not a young lady, but a lady about a few weeks ago. Remember Zach? That lady was trying to sell us some stuff, and we were talking to her. Long story short, I told her, I said, well, we don't, participate on the Sabbath line. If you want to come by first day. She was selling like some candles and soaps or something, homemade stuff. Long story short, she was saying that her sister and brother-in-law are in the truth. And so we started talking, gave her some literature. We had a good conversation for about 20-something minutes. Long story short, she was saying that they were over in Dimona. They went over in Israel.
Yeah.
And she was saying that her daughters just made it out because they closed the airports. And she said, I got actual footage they was sending me where like rockets are like just hitting them like right then and there. And people panicking. And so she was telling me the brother-in-law is still stuck over there. The brother-in-law and her sister and her sister and the sister's husband is still stuck over there. They wanted to make sure their children got over here, so their children made it back safely. But they still stuck over there, not letting people go, because every time you turn around, it's a missile hitting.
Yeah.
So I go back to what you're saying when Yaakov was alive. Say, don't go over there, don't jump the gun.
Right.
And she started crying. Actually, she was really like, she was like, I don't know if they're gonna come. So she was like, I know y'all believe in Yahweh. They believe in Yahweh. Just keep in the prayers, so they can make it back safely. The daughters made it safely, but they ain't letting everybody go because they shut them airports. So.
Now, when did they decide to leave? When they were attacked? Or they were gonna leave?
Yeah, around about when it started revving up. She said at first they wasn't letting people leave Israel. It was not letting people, told them to stay put. Then I think the bombing got lighter, maybe. Then they started allowing certain people to just go ahead and leave.
Yeah.
But not at all in one wave because of the rockets that was coming over there.
Yeah. Well, they had to deal with Hamas and Hezbollah. Now they got to deal with Iran.
Yeah.
And the Houthis. And the Houthis.
So what now?
And the Houthis.
And the Houthis. Now, the Houthis backed off of Israel for a minute, but now they back in the fight.
Yeah, they fired some missiles at them.
Yeah, since America's over there now, they started get ants in the pants.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, man. Where those Colossians, where are they all over in that land?
I don't know what area they're in.
There's a bunch of them, isn't
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Some of them in the military.
there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they don't let them do too much more than anything else.
Shalom, sister.
They gave those the women, the Ethiopian women, some kind of drug to keep them infertile. So, and also they refused to take blood drive. They would refuse to take Ethiopian blood. Yeah, that's they'll take anybody else's blood but theirs. I guess it goes back to them not wanting to pollute themselves with the true Jews.
Like they ain't already polluted. They ain't been with everybody on earth.
I know, but that's European mindset. See, these are Europeans here. They don't want. They're trying to keep it in the family like their seed is royal, like blue blood. And so they intermarry with one another, but don't want no outside person coming into their family tree, taint their blood. Just like white folks say things about us, that we're tainted people. So we let you have your blood drive, but we don't want your blood. Yeah, blood is blood, man. All blood is red. So, but again, those are the mindset. That's the mindset we've been having to deal with since we've been here. Yeah, the Europeans got that mindset that they are pure people. Lord, you're gonna be surprised at what kind of people you are when we share a show there.
Speaking of blood, Elder, it's not nothing about that, but it's they saying that they're not taking those people blood that got the shot.
I think I've heard
You
that.
ever heard? Yeah, it's been brewing a lot like lately because of stuff that's going on. These blood banks been opening, so they say the people that don't. It was mentioned to me because one of my coworkers, she said, your blood is gold. And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, you didn't take the shot. And I was like, huh? She was like, remember you didn't take the shot? And I was like, yeah. And she just brought it up out of just casual conversation. I was like, well, what do you mean? She was like, yeah, a lot of blood banks are refusing people that took that. She was like, so people, she was like, y'all didn't did, because she took one, and then when it finally got wind, she didn't take it no more. But she was like, I'm done. She was like, I'm through. She was like, you got good blood. So that's not the first time I heard it. They've been saying it. So it's so I don't know what's happening right now, but yeah, these people that took it, they not accepting it. And then you also got like men, women that's dating men, and if they got the shot, they don't want to deal with it because they know what comes with it. So this thing is revving up about these shots, man.
So is this done deliberately? I mean, giving these people these shots.
Yeah, because this is worldwide.
It was under false pretenses, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And so there had to be another plan involved for them to give all this vaccination to these people. It's an ulterior plan. They want to get rid of some people. So that's how they do it. with the government backing that forces people to either you take the shot or you lose your job, or you lose your business. So yeah, you got that would be more of a dictatorship than anything else. Cause you forcing the people to do something they don't want to do.
They rolled me on that, bro.
Yeah.
People that knew me and my doctor, you got one kidney, you're diabetic, you got high blood pressure, therefore your immune system is shot. You need to take this vaccine.
It's the
Your
opposite.
doctor told you that?
Yeah.
Ain't your doctor Edomite?
No, not my primary doctor's young sister.
No, it's a young sister.
Yeah. That Edomite that took my kidney, he was the one that had the problem. He said, I can save half of that kidney if you would get a blood transfusion. I said, no, sir. And he said, why do you want to do that? And I won't tell him, because I'm a Jew and you're not. But he took everything out of me.
You right, bro. You better check
Heart,
yourself.
lungs.
Yeah. You just be a ball of meat rolling down the road.
Yeah.
Remy.
Let's continue.
We're at Revelation chapter 11, verse 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Adonai and of his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders which sat before Elohim on their seats fell upon their faces and worshipped Elohim, saying, we give thee thanks, O Adonai Elohim Almighty, which art and was and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldst give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldst destroy them which destroy the earth. And the temple of Elohim was open in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his covenant, and there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail.
So this seventh trumpet, the seventh being the seventh being recognized as a cessation of things, or the end of all things, the end of things. We got 7 days and weeks such as that. But they say it's written here that the Ark of the Covenant is up in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why are these white people still searching for it?
They don't read.
It's written right here. Why don't they see this? Because it's a scam.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. They know they'll never find it, and they know that ark is not in the Ethiopian temple.
Yep.
Being guarded with musket.
Yeah, an old man with a musket guarding the Ark of the Covenant.
Not
We
even,
supposed to believe this?
not even an up-to-date gun. Yo.
Not even up. They no, use
At least have an AR.
they use musket balls or something. Gunpowder. so
Man, a British rifle.
yeah.
The last documentary I
first-
seen, they had a soldier with an AK-47 guarding the building that said Ark of the Covenant was in that building. It was like they had it wired up, fenced off, and that's where they were saying the Ark of the Covenant was at in Ethiopia. I have never seen the old guy with the musket. That's the only one that I've seen. Not saying y'all wrong.
No,
They got so much stuff out there.
the one with the musket sit outside. The one with the AK goes in and out.
Yeah, okay. Y'all never seen the one with the musket.
I seen the same thing you saw.
Go in and out of here.
Yeah. Well, from what I've heard is that there are 2 Ark of the Covenants
Oh.
and 2 temples. Yeah. So somebody lying.
Yeah.
So I imagine all the Ethiopians lying. They just want to be part of our story. But nevertheless, we see that the Ark of the Covenant is up in heaven. So that's just a lie. I guess this might be a tourist trap or something like that, and get people to come visit. But yeah, old man with a musket sitting outside guarding the Ark of the Covenant.
Ed, which level of heaven is this? Verse 19.
Well, it says, and the temple of Elohim was open in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of the covenant, and there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail.
What level of heaven is that?
That's the second level.
That's second
That's
level.
you have the throne of Elohim, who was and is to come.
Okay.
That's his throne. That's his level. All right.
Thank you.
Now, this is the seventh trumpet. Now let's go look at the seventh vial. Let's go to Revelation 16 and pick up the seventh vial. And Brother Stephen, I want you to start this at verse 13. And read all the way down. Now, this is Revelation 16 and verse 13. We're picking up the seventh trumpet that's already blown. And it announces the coming of he that was and is to come. And there were great thunderings and earthquakes. And so we're going to look at what happened with the seventh vial. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 16, verse 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of El Shaddai.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watches and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame.
Mm-hmm.
And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the city of the nations fell. And great Rome came in remembrance before Elohim to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found.
Mm-hmm.
And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed Elohim because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great.
So we see the result of the first trumpet, the seventh trumpet, and now the seventh vial has been poured out, and the city was divided into three parts.
What city is that? That's Rome or Jerusalem?
No, that's talking about Jerusalem, because we're going to pick up Babylon. That'll be Rome right there. So it just not came to mind apparently, and again in the seventh trumpet, in the last verse, it says, and the temple of Elohim was opened in heaven, and there was seen in the temple the ark of the covenant, and there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail. And also in the seventh vial, you have verse 18, and there were voices and thunderings, thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake such as was not since men were upon the earth, and so mighty an earthquake and so great. So we got basically the same thing with the trumpet being poured out, the trumpet being blown and the vials being poured out. So you see the same effect. Again, remember the purpose of the trumpet is to warn, to alert you that something bad is coming your way. And now, in this particular case, in verse 10, it says, and the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Rome came in remembrance for Elohim to give unto her the cup, the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. So we're talking about 2 different places here. The great city turns out to be Jerusalem. Now we got Rome coming by. So remember now, this is the end of all things. This is the end of the trumpets and vials. But the troubles are not over. Because now Babylon's come to mind. America's come, Rome comes to mind. So she's got to feel Yahweh's wrath also. And so once that's done, we're going to continue on and see what happens even after Yahweh destroys Rome. Go ahead, Brother Stephen. Chapter 17.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Now keep in mind now, this is a lot of symbolism here. For instance, in verse 1, it says, there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Well, again, that's symbolic of people. We're going to find out as we continue to read chapter 17. So this is talking about a doctrine that covers all the people. And again, we're going to see that this has to be wrong. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold.
Hold on. I'm not supposed to go here yet.
Oh, well, okay.
We're just going from the trumpets to the vows, right? So let's keep it in that order and go back to Revelation 12.
Okay. Revelation chapter 12, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered.
So what does this represent?
12 tribes of Israel.
Yes. And what does verse 2 represent?
The Messiah.
Who?
The Messiah.
Yeah. That was, again, what we have is a whole story encapsulated in just these few verses here. But it's telling the whole story, but when you go up in the gospel, and break it down into pieces that we can put together. But it's telling the whole story that the gospels tell. It says, and she being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Right? Did I greet you, Elder? Shalom, if I didn't. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Now, you understand what this is describing. Now, this is the government. This is the Roman Empire, right? And it says there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. That is the Roman Empire. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for devouring her child as soon as it was born. So you can go back to King Herod. Heard about the king of the Jews, and had tried to kill off all the babies in Bethlehem from 2 years old and under. And so that he was looking for the Mashiach, but Yahweh, the angel told Joseph, take them and go to Egypt and hide out there. Right, so that symbolizes, those two verses symbolize that the Mashiach's life was at stake. But the children of Israel were expecting a savior anyway, because of what the prophets were saying, what Moshe and the prophets were saying. They were expecting to see him one day. They were expecting a virgin to conceive and bear a son. All those things were wrapped up. They were looking for that. And so when King Herod asked, well, who is this king of the Jews? And the people around him told him about the prophecy of Micah, and that this is he that Micah was telling about, to be ruler over his people Israel. And so we got both cases here in verse 3 and verse 4. And consider this also. In verse 4 it says, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and they cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. But when it says the third part of the stars, now we know we've been taught with stars are they're supposed to be planets, right? But these are not planets. If you're going to cast them to the earth, then how can the earth survive? So these stars that are being cast, the third part of heaven being cast to the earth, are unclean spirits, demons. And so those are the things that are cast to the earth. The third part of the stars cast to the earth, and you realize that in the Gospels it speaks about people with unclean spirits. Mashiach had to cast the unclean spirits out, but you didn't see that in the Scriptures. You hear about that in the Psalms and nowhere else. During the time of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, when they came into Canaan land, you hear about no unclean spirits. So we just start hearing about them on when Mashiach shows up. So that would be third part of heaven, third part of the stars cast to heaven. That would be those unclean spirits that we now hear about, and we also see happening here in America. You see these people seem like they're talking to somebody, and ain't nobody around, and they don't have an earpiece, don't have a cell phone. Yeah, who they talking to? See what I'm saying? So they're not. We can't cast out unclean spirits, and so we just pray that Yahweh spares us from having an unclean spirit. Now, what will make a person take an automatic weapon to a elementary school and try to kill off all the children up in there? That'd be an unclean spirit. Where's your empathy? Where's your compassion? Why would you take children's lives? So something wrong with you mentally. And think about that also, the last, I think maybe 2 or 3 mass shootings in schools were done by people, men that thought they were women.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, the last one had on a dress.
You know, one thing about Jake don't get off into that. When he takes a gun up in school, he takes one to show his buddies.
Yeah.
That's basically what he does. Look what I got.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, Gentile and Hispanics, yeah, they can go crazy.
Yeah. Yes, dear.
I have a statement and a question. When this was read when I was young, I thought the same thing. Like the stars were very huge, and when a third of them came to the earth, I said, "That's the destruction of earth." And I was like, "Well, why is the earth still going on?" Because they kept reading. I said, "But the earth is still going on, but the stars came down." So I never understood why. But now I know why. Because they were angels. They weren't right. And then later on, found out they were demons. Okay, so this particular verse, is it twofold? Is it future and also past when the Mashiach was here, or is it also coming in,
Well,
in the future?
it's historic in that it speaks about things that have already happened. In this particular chapter, it talks about things that already happened that are going to happen. So both past and future.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this one verse,
No, that's this whole chapter.
the whole chapter.
Yeah. Like I said, in that one verse 3 and 4, that's already happened, right? But go ahead, we're going to continue on, because again, we got a condensed story about what we read about in the Gospels. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Elohim and to his throne.
Again, it leaves out all the minute details we see leading up to the Mashiach crucifixion and rise up to heaven. So you got to condense in these two verses here. And she says, she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Elohim and to his throne. So it leaves out the details that led him to that point. So now he's sitting on the right hand of Majesty on high, and when he said it was caught up, it leaves out the fact that he died. It was raised back up. They leave that part out, but it just says that it's a condensed version of what really happened. Go ahead, Brother Stephen, read verse 6.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared of Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
And 3.5 years. Now, that would be our time for that, because it gives you the timeline of 3.5 years, but that would be, we would be that woman that is fled into the wilderness. And now we see that we're going to be ministered to. And the wilderness we're reading about here is already prepared for us, or being prepared even as we speak. We don't know exactly where it is, but nevertheless, it says in verse 6, and the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. It's 3.5 years. Right? So those people that may have been concerned about what you're going to do when you get there, how you're going to feed yourself,
Yeah.
you already got your shit up.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when the Mashiach was raised from the dead, and Peter and the rest of the disciples went out fishing, and when they came back to shore, they didn't have nothing. But they saw the Mashiach on the shore with fish already cooked, already prepared for them. And then he told them, I said, you cast out on the other side, you bring some more fish up here. Right? So, this is saying the same thing, that Yahweh can have a place prepared for us, for those people that are going to be out there 3.5 years. Now, that doesn't leave out the fact that there's going to be a lot of purging out there. A lot of people are going to die. And how that's going to be arranged, we don't know. We know there's a solitary place for us. But from that solitary place, we'll be able to see what happens to those people that are going to be destroyed. Yeah.
I just look at, because you know the wilderness is gonna be a confined space. It's like a lot of purging. Like say this the holy days. There won't be no purging during the holy days because you got to bury them bodies and we be unclean. And like maybe a couple of days before the Sabbath, before purging be like after the Sabbath. So you know we got time to get clean because you got to bury them bodies. There's gonna be a lot of bodies out there, and you don't want to be around dead bodies and make yourself unclean before the Sabbath, before the holy days. You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna be like you think it might be kind of like around them, like after the Sabbath and before and after the holy days, with enough time so we can stay clean. You know what I mean?
Keep in mind, we have another ritual about how to be clean. Because whenever you're around a dead body, you're unclean, right? And what is the scripture? What's the law say about that? You got to stay out 7 days. Then you got to take hyssop and water and sprinkle it on you, waters of separation, in the midst of those 7 days. And at the end of those 7 days, you have to sprinkle it on you again. Then you can come into the camp, right? Well, again, we don't have to do that right now. So when it comes to dead bodies around, yeah, you're going to be, we might have people having to do something about those dead bodies, but that don't mean they're going to be ritually unclean. Those that believe in Mashiach, we know all they have to do is wash their feet.
Mm-hmm.
So when the holy days come around, I imagine you'll be preparing for the holy days just in case you have a whole lot of dead bodies around. And so once you get rid of those dead bodies, because they'll stink up the place. And then once you get done with those dead bodies, then you can wash your feet and come on back in. All right, so again, we're looking at details that we don't have any control over. We know it's the final outcomes that we're supposed to be in that wilderness, and out of that wilderness, we're supposed to go and take the kingdom. That's where you come in. Brother Hilly up there.
Wouldn't it make more sense just to move on?
To move on?
Yeah, I mean, let's move away from the dead body.
We don't know exactly where they're gonna be.
Right, I mean, if they're gonna be down around us, move away.
Now, how can you move from the solitary place?
You know, I ain't talking about move out of the solitary place. I'm talking about move to a place where no dead bodies at where we gonna be.
Well, that'll be set up by Yahweh himself, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So we would have to, for instance, we know that Jerusalem sits on a mountain,
Right.
right? So Israel is a land of mountains and valleys. And so with us, we may be up in those mountains during that great tribulation. I'm gonna go up during that 3.5 years. We don't know exactly what the location is, but we do have an idea when you read up in Isaiah 35, and it tells you that it'd be like the road of Sharon, right? In other words, it's going to be fertile out there, and just like it says here that we're going to be ministered to for 3.5 years. So it's not going to be like it was when our fathers came out of Egypt. So they came out in a desert. And all they did was complain and murmur, say, we ain't got this, we ain't got that. Yahweh making sure you ain't gonna complain this time. Same thing it said in Isaiah 35, same thing we said here, that you're gonna have the same reason our fathers had to complain. Because they were thirsty, and there was no food out there. And so Yahweh fed them. And so, but this time, he waiting on them. Yeah. But again, we don't know exactly what the solitary place is. So when it comes to dead bodies, we're looking at millions of dead bodies. All right, so there ain't gonna be very many places for you to hide from the stench of those bodies, unless you have a squad of people to go out there and bury them the time they die. But again, we have to just wait and see how that works out. Right? Because you look at when our fathers came out of Egypt, a lot of people died going to war with our fathers. So did they hang around in that wilderness and bury those bodies? That's a good question. Because they were steady moving onward, weren't they?
Yeah.
So the people that they encountered that they killed, I don't think they stopped to bury those people.
Right.
Right? And when they came into the land of Canaan, they slaughtered a whole bunch of folk, moving fast. Right? Did they stop and bury all those people they killed? We talking about men, women, and children up in Jericho. Did they stop and bury those people? No, they kept on moving. Right, because they had a place to go. So we're looking at, it doesn't say that we're going to be on the move. It's a place being prepared for us. So it's not like we're going to be centrally located in one particular place. So we won't be on the move like our fathers were. Right? Go ahead, Brother Stafford.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was there place found any more in heaven.
Again, this is future. This hasn't happened yet, even though you got some black female Christians say it already has. No, it hasn't. But you learn not to get in an argument with Christians, especially black female Christians. You want to get in an argument with them, because they'll never back down. They'll say, that's your interpretation. It's written plainly for Ray Charles to see. They're just being stubborn and won't listen to reason, so don't waste your time with them. So they are always right. Right? Black women are always right in their eyes. So it's a waste of time talking to them. Yes, dear.
Who are these two dragons? The dragon fighting himself, or I mean, it gotta be he fighting somebody.
What now?
These two dragons, the dragon fighting against
What verse?
the 7.
Verse 7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. So you wonder who this dragon is? Well, let's continue reading. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was there place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So you understand who the dragon is now, right? And remember, I think we read yesterday, well, in 2 Corinthians, Satan can make himself an angel of light. And so we have Satan finally being kicked out of heaven, and all those angels with him that follow him. So we got angels up in heaven, so that if Satan's up there, and we prove that in the book of Job, chapter 1 and 2, if Satan's up in heaven and its angels up in heaven, there cannot be peace in heaven. There's always going to be problems up in heaven, as long as Satan up there. So he finally got kicked out. So you can't come back up in here no more. You and your boy, get out. Right. Go ahead, Brother Stephen. Read that verse 9 again.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our Elohim, and the power of his Mashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night.
So it was grievous to be accused, for him to be among them, because who is he accusing to Elohim? Us. We're the people of the covenant. And so when we get off in our atrocities and our wickedness, Satan's standing right there. Say, see, I told you. I told you Steve was going to do that to that push-up man, and he did it anyway. Right? So Steve been accused before the throne.
I stand accused.
We do not have choir rehearsal on Thursday and Friday night.
I need to join the choir on them.
No, you don't, Steve. You have enough works on your own. So.
See, you don't have a voice to come up there with us.
I ain't gonna say that.
Yeah, that's what you say.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
We know he did. We know what he did. He think he's slick.
No. Go ahead, man.
Revelation.
Well, again, look at what he's doing here, though. He's accusing us before God. But that's his job. He's an accuser, and he he's a tempter, and the father of all lies. He's just doing his job. That's what he was created for. Yahweh created Satan.
So could it be possible he lying on us too?
The what now?
Could it be possible that he might be lying on us too?
Lying to us now?
Lying on us.
Lying on us.
Lying on us?
Yeah.
No, because he got proof when we see him.
He tricks you into doing stuff and then he tell on you.
Well, yeah, that's his job. Right?
He got proof on it.
Well, yeah, they got
Yeah, I
everything
know it.
wrote down, man.
It's the way you said it. He got proof on us.
They ain't gonna accuse you of nothing and can't prove it. Yeah. But you remember the bet that Yahweh made with Satan made with Yahweh about Job. So sometimes we go through changes in life on a bet. There might be a bet going on up in heaven about how we would react to this. So Satan bet that Job would curse Yahweh to his face. But it never happened. He lost the bet. But again, we don't know what's going on up in heaven. But heaven knows what's going on down here.
You're right, Ed, because he told Satan, you are wiser than Danielle. There's nothing they can hide from you.
Right.
Right.
Right. So yeah, you look at people that get ill-gotten gains by wickedness. Yeah, they're gonna have to answer for that, because that's a better way to live than to rip people off. And I think we read also in chapter 15. Let me see here. We read something about the people that found the earth. Let's see here. I thought it might have been in verse chapter 15. in verse 4. It says, and shall not fear thee, O Adonai, and glorify thy name, for thou art holy, for all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. Let's see here. Okay, now again, that would be part of the last of the 7 trumpets. But let's continue on again. We are still in chapter 12. I'll get that back. I'll get back with you on that one. Hold on a second. Yeah. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
Okay, let me stop right there with a second. I'm gonna pick this up in chapter 11, and see that in verse 18, it says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. This is chapter 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. That's what I was looking for. Those people that destroy the earth, we're looking at corporations now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And not only pollute the seas, the rivers, and the waters around the world, but also pollute the land. Some land cannot even be inhabited now because of greedy corporate people that would do anything to maintain our riches. That's what's going on now. When you look at what's going on here in America and around the world, what we're seeing is distractions. They're hiding what they're really doing in the background.
Yep.
But it's all about money. It's all about power. It's all about control. That's the bottom line for what we're seeing here. That is the bottom line for what's happening in the world today. So these are the ones that are going to come into judgment. We're looking at also the secret societies. Mm-hmm. They're going to come into judgment. All those things that are against Yahweh, they're going to come into judgment. And we know why they're going to come into judgment. It's because they follow the adversary of the devil. For instance, remember when the Mashiach was tempted out there in the wilderness by the devil? And the devil told him, all these things have been given unto me, and I'll give it to whom I please, and I'll give it to you if you fall down and worship me. Well, that's what's happened with these Christians and these Muslims. They follow the ways of the devil, and look how rich and powerful they are. Mm-hmm. Whereas the children of Israel, us, we're not rich, nor are we powerful. But we have to look at that as a positive thing, because we are living in a society that believes in making a whole lot of money. Regardless of how they get it, they want to make that money. But Yahweh taking that desire, that greed from us, and showed us that we should be content with what we got. And so we're not going to be coming into judgment like these people are for destroying the earth. Again, we're talking about corporations and companies that pollute the waters and the earth, and the people too. And so they're going to be coming to judgment. See, they live at large right now. They got off into child pedophilia, and all kinds of abominable practices. They're going to come into judgment. But right now, nobody, as long as the media hides them, then they think they can get away with it. Yahweh sees what they're doing. Looking at Hollywood, they're pedophile out there. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we look at those things, about the corporation AI, like you say, and these flat screens, and they got plastic bottles they can't get rid of. They throw them in the ground and come back up. And, the heavy equipment, and then sometimes we go witness when they dynamite a building, they blow it up, we'll go look at it. But that's Satan moving them people, trying to destroy our inheritance, right?
The earth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The earth belongs to us.
Right.
But we lost our place in the earth, and now Satan is running wild, putting greed in the hearts of people. For instance, this country that we're in now is a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
It was made just to make money off of from King George over in Great Britain.
Wow.
And so they broke away from that, and now they want to make their own money. But nevertheless, Great Britain still owns part of America.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the things that Great Britain was off into have been incorporated in the American legal system. And so, actually, Europe is over here. This is the daughter of Europe over here in America. And it got the ways of her mother. And so, the jurisprudence, the tax, the way they set up the taxes, all come from Europe. The judgments come from Europe. Yeah, so Europeans, the founding fathers were descendants of the Europeans. And so they wrote up that Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, and it reads very well. But it has a lot to be desired. But then it was white folk put it together to justify rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Brother Seth.
Where you want me to start?
Where were you?
I started at 12. That's where I stopped at.
You stopped at verse 12?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me get there. Yeah, pick it up, verse 13.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times, and half a time from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Now again, this woman is the house of Judah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? It says in verse 13, and when the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness and unto her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. So again, we're looking at 3.5 years of that great the wilderness experience. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. So we're looking at the sudden destruction of a whole continent,
Mm-hmm.
America. And that's what it says here in the prophecy, that she's going to fall immediately. It's not going to be a drawn-out affair. It's going to catch her off guard, and it's going to fall immediately, but we got to be out of here. So that'll be us on those boats that the dragon pours out that water to, because of the tsunamis that sinking of America is going to cause all the way around the world. So when America falls, that tsunami will come towards us, but it says here the earth is going to open up her mouth to swallow up that tsunami. Okay.
What about Canada and Mexico?
Canada, we're looking at people, Yahweh's people, right? So we don't have a great concentration of our people up in Canada, nor in Mexico. So mainly talking about our people here, right? And they're going to be on boats. Now, if our people are down there, then Yahweh can save them too.
Now, I'm
So
talking
we're
about
looking at
destruction.
Oh, destruction.
Yeah, the destruction, because I thought this whole South was going to go down.
Yeah, according to the trumpets being blown out, it says 1/3 of the earth was going to be destroyed. The water turned to blood. right? So we look at, that means that if the 1/3 of the earth, then that has to be 2 more thirds of the earth to make it whole, right? So 1/3 of the earth, you're looking at Canada, America, Central America, and South America, right? And then the other third of the earth would be considered Europe, and Spain, and Africa. And the last third of the earth would be the East, China, and Japan, and Russia. Okay, so that would be the third of part of it. So yeah, this side of the earth will be destroyed. So that America in particular will be uninhabitable.
Elder, I'm glad you brought that up, Elder Cal, because there's something floating around that people getting wind of what's happening in America. Well, not getting wind of what's happening in America. They getting wind of this part of the area has to be destroyed. Mm-hmm. So they're relating it to that Pangea, right? Saying that whatever's going on in America, this third part, what they saying in Revelation is going to be gone. Mm-hmm. So those other two parts got to somehow be synchronized together. Yeah. So, and I've seen it the first time, but when you see one thing, everything just start popping up. So more and more people getting wind of something happening on this part of the whole Americas. Yeah. Being destroyed, and then the other one. I hadn't heard that. I just started seeing this a few days ago. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find more information on it, but so what they're saying is that they know America got to be destroyed. Everybody's saying this is the end of America. This is, what's going on right now. We see in the last days of America. Mm-hmm. But they're saying that someone picked up on the Book of Revelation, saying that a third part has to be destroyed. So someone connected the dots, saying, well, it just can't be America, because if you take out just America, you still got Canada, you got New Mexico, and all that. It just ain't gonna be. And then those highs, those ones. So they're saying that all that got to go, and these other two, and that's where they threw in the Pangea. The other two, the 2/3 that's left have to somehow will connect with each other. I don't know how that would happen, but I have been hearing that.
Well, but can they prove that the Pangea ever existed? See, they're going by supposition, looking at how the earth is divided up. And it seems like South America could fit right into East Africa, West Africa. Yeah, West Africa. It seems like they fit together. Yeah. Like somehow they broke apart, but they can't prove it. Yeah, but I don't understand how they come to the conclusion that it's going to return back to Pangea.
Yeah, you're right, Elder. I mean, if you look at it like a puzzle. Yeah. It makes sense if you see how those connected, but the other one is kind of hard to.
Yeah, it's speculative because again they're just looking at the map, and it just seemed like they should have been together at one time. Could have. Ooh man, it's raining good out there now, isn't it?
Yep.
It's where somebody's power.
Well, no, just I'll get that car wash you recommended yesterday.
Right, yeah, now.
But I guess if you look at it from that point of view, the book would disprove it in the sense that Yahweh said he got to carry these people from here to here. Mm-hmm. So this place will have to be, if he said he gonna carry us from the west coast of Africa to this place right here, and we're gonna go on ships, there has to be no connection. Yeah. Because if it was connected, you wouldn't need ships. Right. You would just basically walk across.
Well, yeah. But how do we get here? On ships. Right. So we got to return on ships. So you couldn't have a Pangea at that point. Right. Because where the ship's going to go. So it's, again, you got those theories out there that somehow the earth was one. Well, listen, it's not out of the realm, out of the realm of possibility when you consider the great flood that came upon the earth. We don't know what the earth looked like before the flood. So what we're seeing is what happened after the flood. So what you got out there in the west? You got the Grand Canyon. that they can trace that at one time there was something flooded that area and dug out the Grand Canyon. And so like we got flood stories all over the world. And we looking at, if it was a Pangea, the earth was divided after the flood.
That can make sense. I can see that.
Yeah. So,
Never thought about that.
yeah, it might have been, again, during the time of Adam and Eve and all the rest of them. It's probably one big earth, one land mass. But after the flood, who knows? Coast change, parts of land become coast that we didn't have a coast before. So, it's in the possibility, but you can't prove it. Now, look, for instance, they're finding chariot wheels in the Red Sea now. People used to think that was all made up about the Red Sea splitting up. But now you got evidence that there were chariots in the Red Sea. What are they doing down there? And they timed it back to the time of the Egyptians. So our book is correct. It's on point. They have to wait all these years to figure out, yeah, the Bible was right all along. Science proves that. Yeah. So go ahead, Brother Stephen. Hold on a second. Yeah, I think we can go through this. Go ahead.
You got one more verse in the chapter.
Okay.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Elohim, and have the testimony of Yahshua the Messiah.
So, again, we're looking at two different scenarios here then, aren't we? We got the wilderness experience, but then he says he's going to make war with the remnant of her seed that keep the commandments. So that'll be the 9 tribes that still scattered.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to have to go through that 3.5 years of great tribulation. We're going to be in the wilderness, like they said, but the rest of them they got to suffer. Right? But at least those that suffer under the beast system, they will probably be guaranteed resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
But those people that are killed out there in the wilderness, they'll be killed because of their wickedness. So we're not righteous about why they died. They died because of their wickedness. So we may not be looking for them to be raised up in the first resurrection. Maybe the second resurrection, but not the first one. Okay. So if you're gonna die, you best go ahead and die now. Don't let the Mashiach show up and he gotta kill you. Go ahead, brother.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
So this is that one world order. This is the government. If you notice, the beast, this is a government here, and then the one world order. And it says it's having 7 heads and 10 crowns, and upon his horns 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And this came up out of the sea. Keep in mind there are 2 different scenarios here. This is someone coming out of the sea. Go ahead, Brother Stephanie.
And the beast, Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
So we're still talking about the same dragon now. You know that dragon is that serpent, that old serpent, that dragon, Satan. So it's Satan that's giving this person this power, but look at what he consists of. In verse 2, it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and its feet were as the feet of a bear and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. But those are the same beasts that we read up in Daniel. So we're looking at what's making up this revived Holy Roman Empire. That's who's going to be governing the earth. Right? So, but we see where that one world order will be getting the power of one run the earth by Satan himself. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast.
Again, that will be the revived Holy Roman Empire, the times of the power of the Catholic Church. We're looking at that right there because once Catholicism, not Catholicism, but Protestantism came on the scene, that reduced the power of the Catholic Church. So they didn't go to the Pope like everybody's supposed to go to the Pope. So they went straight to JC. See, in Catholicism, you have to go to the Pope first. No, I take that back. You have to go through the saints, and then you have to go through the angels, then you got to go through Mary, then you got to go to Jesus, then you get to God. So the Protestants say, no, it ain't going to happen, Calvin. We're going to break away from all that, all y'all indulgences and y'all bribes and your abomination. They want no part of the Pope. And so now, they ain't forgot us though.
Pope's starting to speak too.
Huh?
He's starting to speak a lot now.
Yeah, that's, they got that eye on us, on America. And so, they can't use America now. The Americans got too many guns. And so they were thinking that the Democratic Party would take away all the guns, but that didn't work. These white folks ain't crazy. They see what they're doing. So got too many guns over here, so they can't really take it the way they want to take it. Did you have something there?
I figured it out.
Well, praise God.
Praise God.
Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
So they openly worship Satan. Are they doing that now? They got a Baphomet up in Boston, don't they? So it's right in the front of City Hall.
One in Detroit too.
Huh?
Said it's one in Detroit too.
In Detroit. They openly worship Satan in America.
Yep. They don't hide it no more.
I mean, the Constitution protects them.
He said he got one in Alabama.
You got one in Alabama?
That's what the elder said.
You got one.
What part of Alabama? Birmingham?
On the south side.
Oh. Well, that's all over the place. What happened to my white people?
It ain't just white people, black people worship Satan too.
Black people in the safe worship?
Didn't say worship. Didn't say worship. When I was young, in and out of jail, prison, some of the game, remember some people in the streets, they worshiping Satan. I don't know if they were doing it right, but that's what they were doing. They, you know,
They're doing it right.
you know, I don't know if they're doing it right.
Those cars, it was down there by the old Omni. It was a little club down there. That's where the blacks met. They had their section. They do it. I don't, like I said, I don't know how I know the white people are more into violent rituals, and I think the black goth, they were more into just expression and indifference. I don't think none of them ever committed any grotesque acts. They were just indifferent. But them white goths, they were stacking bodies. So, you know, the goth is a form of Satan worship, because it's a part of the occult.
Well, I imagine that's nothing new.
Right.
I imagine they've been doing this for years. We're just not finding out about it.
And also, when I first started working out in Buckhead, I was riding down on the bus. Now, you know, when you're on the bus and you just bored, you're looking out the window, right? I know I saw a Church of the Dead right on Peach Street.
Church of the Dead.
Big, yeah, a big building. Church of the Dead.
Yeah, I seen that.
I'm glad you bagging me up, Steve, because
That's right.
you know, yeah.
On
Because when I
Peachtree
started
Street?
driving, I didn't see it anymore. But when I was on the bus, because I didn't have to go down Peachtree Street anymore.
Mm.
But when I was on the bus, I used to see it on the regular. It's big up there, it's Church of the Day.
Church of the Day, he right.
Is it still there?
I believe it is.
I hadn't been down that way,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
been
know
a
what
minute
you're
since
talking
I've been down there, because I left Buckhead about 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, what are they about? What's their doctrine?
I couldn't tell you, but
Probably I can Google it, can't
They probably Google it.
I?
yeah.
Yeah. Y'all went out Google it.
There's a lot
This
of
is my
people
first time hearing about
Right
the
here
Church
in
of
this
the Day.
area, that's worshiping Satan.
Oh, in this area they worshiping Satan.
In this area too, that's worshiping Satan.
Oh, really?
Our people. They in everything.
I mean, I can't see it being done openly, but if they're in
They not.
somebody's house.
They not hiding that what they believe in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Uh-huh.
You know, their clothing, their cars, everything. You know what I mean? It's some of them tattoos, their clothing, their cars. Some got the little pentagram, little symbols. It's open. There's not a lot, but it's our people right here in this area.
Young folk.
Young folks, and some of them probably was older. The older was more discreet, you know, because of the Christians. But yeah, but it's been going on for a long time.
Now I heard about witchcraft among black people.
Yep.
The witchcraft has been getting stronger and stronger among black women. A lot of them turning into witchcraft.
Black men too. Voodoo,
Black men
all that.
too.
I mean, Santeria, E5,
So
it's all voodoo. I mean,
Wasn't they putting that in the schools, elementary schools at one time? One of those.
a lot of kids are into it because their parents into it.
Yeah.
Because of the rappers, you know what I mean, rapping about it. You know, it's a big thing. I don't know why, but they started rapping about it, so it's just the more got kids too.
Like
Really?
the Wu-Tang Clan.
Like the whole community, my whole community at one time was like almost E5. With the chapel, like all of them just, it's crazy.
You got dogs and frogs sitting there watching it.
Where is this at?
On top of
Birmingham,
Birmingham.
mm-hmm.
Birmingham?
You would
right
think
in
that
front of the church.
They got a Baphomet in Birmingham?
you wouldn't think that'd be in Birmingham, Alabama. It's
Maybe it's
Southside.
Birmingham, England or something.
Birmingham, Alabama.
The ham.
The ham.
The ham.
The ham.
I've been there.
Uh-oh.
Well, in Alabama, they must have moved from California to Alabama or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. Here you go.
I got
But a lot of it got to do with the hypocrisy of the Christian church. People see it, think that's supposed to be right, but you see the hypocrisy, you see they don't know what the hell they talking about when you read it. So a lot of people just like, I ain't gonna have nothing to do with that. I'm gonna go over here and do this and do that. You know what I mean?
So they're living for the now.
Yeah.
They're not living for the future.
The Quran said too. You want to learn magic so you can have your money and credit now instead of for the next life. So that's what they do. I told somebody that, I'm like, oh. They start thinking, you know what I mean? Yeah. 'Cause we came from the
So
Quran with
what it is, these people don't really know what they're getting into. They don't.
Right. It's just like a lot of the Asian tattoos. I was talking to one Asian guy, and a lot of them don't do the tattoos now.
Mhm.
But I asked him about this tattoo on another. I was like, "What do that say?" He said, "That fool don't even. He said that fool don't really know. That don't say nothing. He said just a design. He said don't say nothing. There's no Asian language that got that.
So they're not really words then.
Right. They're just symbols of.
Mm.
What kind of thing?
It's like you think you're reading a Asian language, right? You're looking at an Asian language. Well, he says it's not even a word in no Asian language. That's what he told me. He said, a lot of that stuff these black folks and white folks put on them don't have nothing to do with the Asianic language.
Well, when it comes to tattoos, I'm glad I'm too dark to get one.
Elder, I've seen
It'll
people
still
darker
show
than
up.
you. They have
No, see,
tattoos.
if they tattoo me, at nighttime the tattoo disappears. So what's the point?
What you got a light on?
Yeah, but you ain't gonna see it in the dark, in the wilderness. You ain't gonna have no electric lights out there. Light switch. So y'all gotta consider these things. All the conveniences that you have now, You're not gonna have them in the wilderness.
You have a lamp.
Oh, you gonna bring a gas and lamp out there?
No. You'll have a fuel
So where
source.
you gonna plug the plug in at?
No. You'll have a fuel source to have a lamp.
You think we have generators out there?
No.
Where you gonna plug in? You still gotta
They
plug it
gotta
in
plug
somewhere.
generators, that gas power, propane power.
Where you gonna get the gas?
We got when we traveled through Africa. Stacked up on propane and gas, we was traveling through Africa.
Who gonna
Yeah,
carry?
you do have propane out there.
We don't care, we ain't got nothing else to do. I'm gonna carry it, I carry it, but I'm just saying, you think?
What about your clothes and your shoes and all that stuff? How you gonna get that? Also, people can't wear the same clothes 3.5 years.
You're right, you're right,
And what makes you think you can hold on to that stuff?
That's right.
you're right.
Get on the cruise
Somebody
with
gonna
that
take it
stuff.
from you?
Yeah, huh?
Somebody gonna try to take it
You
from you?
already know.
Smoking on them.
Imagine that, Elder.
So yeah, let's try to be practical about these things. We gotta
They
try.
had lamps back in the day, Dale. They had candles.
When? Out there in the wilderness? No, they didn't. Candle wasn't invented back in the days. So when it talks about the candlestick, the menorah, it's talking about lamps, not talking about candles. So they didn't have candles back in those days.
Well, how about the pillar of fire? They had some.
That was back then. That was nearly 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, but we'll have candles.
And how long you think that's gonna last?
Yeah,
You got a candle that lasts 3.5 years,
No, not really.
and you can hold on to that candle around a bunch of black people.
They got
And you-
beeswax
and-
candles.
And your tent gonna be the only tent that's got light in it.
Say it again.
They got beeswax candles.
That's two.
I saw this video one time and this guy made some, I think I saved it. And he was camping. And he made this stuff that you can set a candle with. I mean, you can, it'll ignite eventually. But it was made with something, he made it up. And he kept it in it was a little ball, and he kept it in foil. But it was
Well,
made of natural stuff.
so will you find all that natural stuff out there in the wilderness?
You wouldn't, like,
I don't know
See.
what's gonna be in the wood. We don't know.
you don't know.
But we
But
gonna have
if
light.
it is, all that stuff can be used.
We gonna have light.
Oh, really?
If you know how to use it, Elder, it'll be used.
Well, praise y'all for
Have
you.
the knowledge to know what you're looking at.
Elder
And you
King,
got the moon.
we was camping one time, and Elder King was creating fire out of,
Two
some
rocks.
fumes, Elder King.
Did what now?
He was creating fire out of some element, and, but he was, it's just ways you can make fire, but I'm thinking more than likely, we're gonna be led by the, pillar of fire, and the cloud
Well, again, we don't know
at
how that's
night.
gonna
So,
work
I
out.
mean, like you said,
First
it's
of all-
gonna be impossible to be carrying a lot of that stuff.
The thing about the pillar of cloud, pillar of fire was to protect the children of Israel from any
Right.
outside forces.
Yeah, but you.
Now, we won't have any outside forces coming after us like it was back in the day.
Right.
So what's the point of having a pillar of cloud, pillar of fire?
Well, I recall Elder Yaakov saying one time about, that we're gonna be able to look while at night by all of the, fires and the weapons, the destruction from, those weapons. And by daytime, it's gonna be like smoke. We're gonna,
So do we go toward the fire or do we
Yeah.
go away from the fire? Do we
going
go toward the smoke? or do we
like
away
it's
from the
like,
smoke?
it's gonna be like a guide for us. I mean, I don't know, but,
They say you can make fire out of sap. I forgot about that.
Out of what?
Sap.
Sap, I
Tree
know,
sap.
tree sap,
Tree sap?
yeah.
Y'all know how to make fire out of tree sap.
I forgot about it.
there's gonna be trees out in the wilderness.
They got trees in the wilderness.
I look at it like this.
And all
Yahweh
them-
bring
all
us
them
in the land.
sap-producing trees.
We ain't gotta worry about the wilderness.
I know.
Yeah, it's gonna be angels out there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You won't be by yourself.
a lot of things just conjecture.
Well, the main thing about that wilderness experience is that there's gonna be a lot of healing out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need. We need a lot of healing out there.
Praise God.
'Cause we have a lot of affliction. We've been afflicted for 400 years in this bad boy. So that has affected us both mentally and physically. So of all the people that need to be out there, you're gonna in the wilderness again. It's gonna be very fertile. You're gonna have healing waters out there. So with any physical maladies that you have, you'll be healed of them. It'll be just like it was when Mashiach was here. healing people. It'll be like that too. 'Cause you're Judah, and you're gonna come out of that wilderness ready to fight. Okay. Now I'm not gonna have time to go through chapter 13 here, so I'm gonna stop here and open up the floor for questions. But before we dismiss, does anyone have any questions?
To class.
Okay. Let me go ahead and make sure. Revelation 13. All right. Yes.
You said, you mentioned, 13 and 2 about Daniel, where, God and Daniel would, that be, the verse,
Okay, let's look at the animals involved in chapter 13. Look at the animals. We have in chapter 13, verse 2, it says, "And the beast which I saw, was like unto a leopard, and its feet were as feet of a bear, and its mouth as the mouth of a lion," right? Well, let's go to Revelation chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7. And Brother Stephen, pick this up at verse 1.
Where are we now?
This is Daniel chapter, oh, you ain't there? I'll take care.
I can get
Yes.
to
Huh?
it. I'll read it.
Okay.
Daniel chapter
7, verse 1 to verse 7.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the psalm of the matters.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
So again, what did it look like? A lion, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that's part of the government we see in Revelation 13 and verse 2. It says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. So we've got two mentions of a lion, aren't we? Don't we? And again, we're talking about empires in chapter 7. All right? Whereas what we hear in Revelation 13, we're talking about a singular government composed of the same elements that we see in the book of Daniel, these beasts. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh.
So this is the bear. Again, we read up in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, it had the feet of a bear. Right? Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Again, there's another other portion, that one world order, the leopard. What we read about it in Revelation 13. But all these components are part of a one world order. So all these beasts that we just read here, we just read them again in Revelation 13. And so, go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
So this particular beast is much different from the previous beast that we read about here, because in previous beasts we have one like unto a lion, and one like unto a bear, and one like unto a leopard. But this fourth beast, he's not like any of those things. So this is a different beast here, but it's still an empire. We're talking about empires here. We got the Babylonian Empire, you got the Medo-Persian Empire, you got the Greek Empire, but then now you got in verse 7, that would be the Roman Empire. And so that's why we say, for instance, in Revelation 13, in verse 3, it says, "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and the dead wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." That would be the Roman Empire. But the Roman Empire is going to come back to life. It's going to be the Holy Roman Empire, the revived Holy Roman Empire. So, as you remember, in this fourth beast here we read about in Daniel, it was talking about the Roman Empire, but eventually the Roman Empire evolved in what we have now as the Catholic Church. It's still the Roman Empire. They just moved from state to ecclesiastical, but it's still the Roman Empire. Did that help you, dear, in explaining what that verse meant? So again, it's a mixture of what we've already had before. Does anyone else have any questions? Yes.
Revelation 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 13 and 14. Actually, 14. 13 and 14. Is that literal or is that symbolic?
In Revelation 16, verse 13 and 14,
Yes, sir.
it says, "And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet." So you saying, is this literal? It's spiritual. They're going to convince the nation that a man can be God also. So we got the, look at what it said, what they're going to be doing. It says, "And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, for they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of Elohim Almighty." So they're going to convince the whole world that there's a man that is God in that temple, by the great miracles that we're going to perform before him. And so that's going to convince the nations that they got to fight for this man that called himself God. And so that will bring up the war of Armageddon. Okay?
Okay, so this person is looking into the spirit realm and seeing stuff coming out of this man's mouth, which is actually.
These are things they can't see.
Yeah, I know we can't see it, but.
They can't see it, but John the Revelator, he's being shown this is what's going to go down. So he's seeing all these unclean spirits coming out of these 3 entities, but we won't be able to see those things, but we can see the effect on people.
Okay, so this is the time when the devil goes into that priest. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, my gym closed early today. I want to get a workout in.
Oh, I thought you said Jim Crow.
You got your hearing aids in? No excuse, Jim Crow. I'll see you Thursday. Yeah.
I still get used to the hearing aids, but sometimes it may be a little distorted. Okay.
Okay, so you were saying that this is the time that the devil goes into that man and he's saying that he's God?
Yeah.
So that's when this happened?
No, we're looking at 3.5 years of this going on, and in this particular part, well, the verses you just mentioned, 13 and 14, that's going to convince them to come to the battle of Armageddon and fight the Mashiach.
Okay.
Are there any more questions? Okay, well, let's see what's happening here in chat. You got me on Facebook and YouTube too?
Yeah, just go to Restream and it should be up.
Go to where?
Go to your Restream and you just go to you should be already up in your chat.
Well, I see something say restream. I don't think I'd find it. I wanna mess nothing up. I got a whole lot of statements and questions. I wanna see them. So where are we here? I hit chat.
Open your screen.
Open this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, just scroll all the way to the top.
So I ain't no picture over here then, huh? You still got me though.
Yeah, you rolled it.
Okay. All right, I have, Julius Brown at the top on YouTube.
Yep.
Okay. Shalom, Julius Brown. Shalom, Brother David. Shalom, Brother Abraham. Missed you at the, feast day, my brother. Shalom, Julius Brown again. Shalom, Sister Naraya. Shalom, Elder Tobiah. Shalom, Brother David. Shalom, Kujo Goody says, yep, Yah for these classes. Praise Yah for these classes. And the work you brothers and sisters put in to get this truth out of to the lost sheep. Nah. Praise Yah, bro. I'm old. I should be doing these things. Shalom, Lonely Red Wolf. Shalom, Sikkim Ben Israel. Shalom, Brother Ezra Ben Israel. You saw Ezra the other night, man.
Yeah.
You seen his son?
Yeah.
Well, they identical twins, bro.
Big, yeah.
Yeah. Shalom, Elder Hiram. Shalom, Elman. Shalom, Brother Clarence Marks and Sister Yorita. Shalom, Sikkim Ben Israel again. Praise Yah for everything. Shalom, Shalom Gregory Rucker. Shalom Brother Mickey Anderson. Shalom Sister Rachel. Shalom Elder Alahayim and Mother Malaka. Shalom Brother Yosef. Shalom Mother Marcia. Shalom Repentant Judah. Shalom Sister Navah. Shalom Yahusha HaMashiach. Wait a minute. That's his name? I guess so. I hope that's his name. Shalom Elder Mick. Shalom Tikaway Knight. Shalom Brother Hodiah. Shalom Sister Rachel. I said, I have heard the same thing about the blood. I'm told that I have liquid gold in my veins. Also, it's true with the shots. Anyone who has taken them, they basically live in a time bomb. Man, you took that shot, didn't you?
And I didn't even prick my finger to check my sugar. I'm scared of needles. No.
Yeah, well,
A lot of people just, they call people like us during that pandemic, they call us, say we wasn't very patriotic.
for not taking the shot?
Yeah.
I guess that's me then. I'm not patriotic. Shalom, some of the name, Nisha Kimbrough. Oh! Mother, Brother Elazar and Mother Kia. Shalom, Sean Berry. Shalom, Brother Adawan. Shalom, Sister one of them Shelton. Shalom, Brother Kimuel. Shalom, Brother Malachi. Shalom, Brother Otis Jones. Shalom, Kevin Burks. Shalom, Shabayam, Yasharala Elder. Shalom, Timothy Woodears. Shalom, Melinda Curry. Shalom, Yahweh Song. Shalom, Brother Yahu. Let's see, Ezekiel 20 explains the GT. What's the GT? They got homework to do. Shalom, Aya, Shalom, Brother Ezra. Another amazing class. When we read about the two witnesses, two candlesticks, and the two olive branches, were they all angels or spirits? Well, all angels are spirits, but not all spirits are angels.
Mhm.
So these, it says, two anointed ones. That means they were angels, because you really can't. You don't see any spirits personified, except for you read up in the historical parts of our book, where Yahweh one who can make Ahab fall at Ramoth Gilead, right? And so he had the seventh spirit. Our spirit came up to him, so I make him fall by putting a lying spirit to his prophets. Yeah.
That's something I wanted to ask you. That spirit that wanted to be a lying spirit, would that be Satan?
No.
Because he follows lies?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, that wouldn't be Satan. That would just be a spirit that giving him an answer to his question.
Okay.
Right? So I can be a lying spirit to him. Say, Yahweh said, go ahead and do that. Right? But that wouldn't have been, he wouldn't have been at the level of evilness as Satan would be. So you see, Satan, he wouldn't be doing Yahweh a favor.
Right.
Now this spirit is doing Yahweh a favor. Right? So,
Because Ahab is a wicked man, right?
yeah. Yeah, we're going to figure out how can I make him fall.
He has the power of death too, so he would be happy to make Ahab die, right?
Yeah.
Satan got the power of death, so killing
Well, I
Ahab
mean,
would be
yeah,
part of that.
ultimately, yeah, he will be saved, but that's how he's gonna fall, right, by listening to his false prophets and wind up getting killed out there. That's what Satan steps in.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, those will be angels, Brother Ezra. Brother Yemiyahu, when America falls, so South America, the Caribbean, etc. So Yahweh's making sure everything is old. This side of the world, so we can cry about. So we can't cry about coming back. LOL. All right, praise Yahweh. She Israel, daughter of Yahweh. Shalom. Shalom Ahaya. The question I have is from Sabbath class. Where is Mount Sinai today? Will this area be part of the land of the children of Israel inhabit also? Well, it says Mount Sinai. Well, it's the same as Mount Horeb, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And so Mount Sinai is on it's not part of the land of Israel. We find Mount Sinai in the land of Midian, which would be Saudi Arabia today. And I think the Saudis have the Mount Horeb there fenced off. And the top of the mountains are burnt with fire, burnt with smoke. So it's not part of the land of Israel. It's more part of the Saudi Arabia. But I think you might be referring to all those tents that people notice out there. Thousands and thousands of tents out there near Mount Sinai. And they haven't been inhabited since they put them over there. But here lately, some of those feast days that they have, they do allow people to stay in those tents. Mm-hmm. But they've been out there a very long time as if they were expecting somebody. Yeah. But that's not, I guess you can't consider that part of the wilderness experience too. I ain't consider that. Because we spent most of our time around Mount Sinai. And then we moved on. But nevertheless, you can count that as part of the wilderness experience. Yeah, they said, will this area be part of the land of the children of Israel inhabit also? No, we didn't inhabit that land. We weren't given the land of the Arabs. We were given the land of the Canaanites. Shalom, Susie Garman. Did you fall on it? Okay. Okay. Shalom, Brother Adrian Davis.
Shalom, my brother.
Brother Elder Stephen says shalom to you, my brother. Shalom, Dr. Asher Scott Yisrael. Shalom, Brother Benaiah. Shalom, Brother Yaakov. Shalom, Drapak Media. Is it still time for one more question? Let's see which question. Could you explain who are the saints in Matthew 27, 50 and 3? 50 and 53. All right, let's see who these people are.
What chapter?
It says Matthew
27.
27 verse 50 to verse 53. It says, let's see, what is the question? 27, 50 to 53, it says, Yahshua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up to the Spirit. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in two from top to the bottom, and the earth quaked, and the rocks rent. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. So the question is, who are the saints in that particular verse, right? Well, let's take it all the way to the beginning where we first hear the word saints. Let's go to Deuteronomy. I think it'd be Deuteronomy 33. Let's see, I believe I'm right in that. Let's see who these saints are. In Deuteronomy 33, and this is when you first hear the word saints. And it says, verse 1, and this is the blessing wherewith Moshe, the man of Elohim, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, Yahweh came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. Yea, he loved the people, all his saints are in thy hand, and they sat down at thy feet. Every one shall receive of thy words. Moshe commanded the law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Yaakov. So we see that the saints are applied to the children of Israel. Now, let's go to one more place. Let's go to Revelation, chapter, chapter 14. We didn't get that today, but we're kind of jumping ahead, though. But we're trying to define the word saints here. All right, so who are the saints? So we know the saints are the children of Israel, right? So when you go up into Revelation 14, in verse 12, it says, here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Elohim and the faith of Yahshua. So we're talking about what makes them saints is the fact that Yahweh made covenants with them, and he gave them a law to keep. So that, the word saint is just another way of saying someone that's set apart from the rest of the nations. So that would be us. So those people that came out of those graves, they would be either the Jews or the children of Israel coming out of the graves, coming back to life when the Mashiach was raised up. So that would be our people, the children of Israel are the Jews. They would be called the saints. So I hope that help you out, Dre Pat Media. Shalom, Brother Mikael. Shalom, Adahayim. And Shalom, Dre Pat. Shalom, also, sorry. Okay. I don't have anything after that.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, let me go back to where we were.
Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook, yes.
Okay, so Matthew chapter 12, verse 4 and 5, you referenced Leviticus.
Matthew 12,
Mm-hmm.
verse 4 and 5. says, in verse 4, it says, how, well, I picked this up in verse 3. But he said unto them, have you not read what David did when he was a hungered, and that they that were with him, how he entered into the house of Elohim, and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. So your question is what?
You said that you find that in Leviticus.
No, it's in Exodus. Right, but it probably also in Leviticus also. But that's the showbread. That's part of the tabernacle that they had out there in the wilderness. They had the showbread table out there. Now, you understand what that means? The showbread table that meant just for the priests.
Well, the priest, right.
So that's part of the tabernacle furniture. So every Shabbat, every day, they would have a fresh loaf of bread sitting on the showbread table. That's why they call it showbread table. Right? And so that's what he was referring to when the Mashiach said that David and his men were hungry. They ate the bread that was only meant for the priests. That's according to the law. All right, so let's look at it then. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let me see if I remember. Did I say that it was in Leviticus?
You said Exodus.
No, I'm talking about before now.
I don't know. Wait a minute.
Huh?
Maybe I mixed it up, but I'll come back to it. I'll circle back around. I'm looking at Leviticus 8.
Okay, let's look at that then.
Because I think somebody ate bread. Somebody ate some bread in Leviticus 8.
Let's see here. I'm looking at the numbers, no one I would see it. Leviticus 8 and let's see here. What verse? Leviticus 8.
Oh, okay. 31.
They don't have 31 chapters in Leviticus.
No, 8 and 31.
8 and 31. Okay. And Moshe said unto Aaron and to his sons, boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and thou eat it with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I commanded, saying Aaron and his sons shall eat it, the flesh, and that which remaineth for the flesh and of the bread shall you burn with fire. So is that what you're referring to?
Is that the same bread?
No.
Okay.
No, we're looking at, again, what the Mashiach was referring to was the showbread
Okay.
that the priests always set out every day. Right, so that, what they would eat, what they were doing here in Leviticus 8 was part of the consecration ceremony, giving them the authority to be priests over the children of Israel. But according to the law, that bread, that showbread bread, and that bread that they ate was not the same thing. The bread that we read in chapter 8, again, was to consecrate the priests in their priesthood. And the law concerning the showbread was they're supposed to have it every day.
Okay, and that's Exodus what?
Let me see here. That would be Exodus 25 and 30. Let me see here. And 30. It says, but it says, thou shalt set upon the table showbread before me always. So again, that's in the book of Leviticus. Okay? Are there any more questions?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do we have time for a discussion?
I said questions, not discussion.
What is the question?
You said that was Leviticus 25 and 30?
No, it's,
Exodus.
Exodus 25 and 30.
Oh, Exodus.
Exodus 25, what is it?
So it's two references. It says born of the Spirit and then filled with the Spirit. So what's the difference between those?
Where you getting this from now?
Where?
Yeah, was that written in here?
Not in that. It's John 3 and 6. It's called born of the Spirit. And then in Acts 5:52 it says filled with the Spirit.
Filled with the Spirit?
Mhm.
Well, I imagine you say it's in John chapter 3?
Okay, John 3 and 6 is born of the Spirit.
Well, that's talking about two different things here. We're talking about the baptism, right? How the Spirit acts at the baptism. So when you look at John chapter 3, in verse 1 it says, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yeshua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher from Elohim, for no man can do these miracles that thou doest except Elohim be with him. Yeshua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of Elohim. Nicodemus says unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Yahshua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of Elohim. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, You must be born again. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but cannot tell whence it cometh and whither it goes. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit. All right, so you're looking at this particular description of what the Spirit does is that people that are born of the Spirit would be doing spiritual things, doing spiritual works. Now, the other way of you putting that was putting out those that.
No, I had another question. Okay, so
She was saying, what's the difference between being born in the Spirit and filled with the Spirit?
Filled with the Spirit,
Right,
okay,
right.
okay.
Okay.
Like in Acts.
So,
Okay.
wait a minute, John is talking about the baptism and,
Filled with the Spirit,
no, born of the Spirit,
well, we just read it.
what we just read, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's part of baptism and spiritual works,
Yeah.
okay.
So when someone is filled with the Spirit, it's something that they do spontaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right? So you ain't really expecting it, but for some reason the Spirit came upon them. They're saying things that are spiritual. Right? So that would be called someone's filled with the Spirit. Is there anything else?
Not right now.
When is the next time you're gonna be here?
So you can be prepared.
Yeah, no, because I imagine that she wants to get everything out now,
Oh, no,
because she's not gonna be here for a
I'm
while.
building, I'm doing research so I can get my main questions.
Well, all you gotta do is move back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. This is the Isha 777 says, Shalom, Elder, I heard a teaching that said that you have to be water baptized in order to participate in Passover. Is that true? No. In our case, we're looking at the restriction of taking the sacrament. That means the water, the bread, and the wine, which represents the body and the blood of the Mashiach. That's what we call the sacrament. Those that are not baptized in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach will not be allowed to take part of the sacrament. But as far as the Passover is concerned, they can eat the Passover with us. Okay, that's how we roll here. I don't know about anybody else. But that is, this is how we run our organization, so that, no one takes of that sacrament unworthily. So, yeah, we only allow the people that have been baptized in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach. Okay, I don't have anything else here. Is there anything else? Don't smile at me, please. It's scary. See, I haven't had a woman smile at me so long. That's something right. I get nervous. I have a right to get nervous when they smile at me, because they have no reason to smile at me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of this. All right. We're gonna stop here, Facebook and YouTube. And as far as our next class is supposed to be on this coming third day, which is Tuesday night, we're gonna have a history class, because that will be the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So we'll tune in for that particular day. Also, we have a sisters only class on the 5th day, which is Thursday night at 8:00 p.m. And lastly, we have a Sabbath service, that 7th day of the week, which is Saturday at 1:00 p.m. So I hope I helped you out, Facebook and YouTube. Good questions, appreciate it. And join us for the end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the 7th day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Yahweh bless you and keep you. Shalom.